Hello, I'm Dr. James Bogash, and today we're going to talk about chocolate and why you should have more of it, and more importantly, what type of chocolate. So, there's no doubt that the right types of chocolate are incredibly good for health. Chocolate is derived from the cacao bean, which for years I thought was just everybody spelling cocoa wrong, but that's not the case. The cacao bean was generally accepted to be popular among the Incans and Aztecs and referred to it as bitter fruit. Because if you've ever had cacao without any type of sweetener, it generally is definitely bitter. I add it to my espresso, and I can certainly confirm that. And there is no doubt that cacao, as the origin of chocolate, is very good for us. It's a very powerful antioxidant, very good for the blood vessels, which means it lowers heart and stroke risk. From that cacao bean, they use that to make both cocoa and ultimately chocolate. So it's also one of the reasons why we've seen cocoa that has some health benefits as well, even though you start getting into more Nestle's Quick and things like that, and it loses any potential benefits. So chocolate, in general, across the board, has been shown to have some powerful benefits. I remember reviewing a study quite a few years ago on the health benefits of chocolate on people who had a heart attack. So we're looking at people who already have documented heart disease problems that it was something like 30 or 40% lower risk of having a heart attack in people who were regular chocolate consumers. And that beats out statins hands down. So I found that interesting. The problem with chocolate is that we're not talking about your typical uh, large conglomerate chocolate bar like a Hershey's or a Nestle's. Those are too processed, too much sugar, and they are not healthy for us. So we always want to look for darker cacao content. Generally, the darker the better, and also the less other stuff they're going to have in it. For me, I know that something 75, 80, 90% is usually pretty dark without having something else in it. So there are lots of different brands, things like Endangered Species, and it's the only one that comes off the top of my head, but they mix in other things, like they'll put in different berries in there. Some of them may have coffee chips in them, some of them may have almonds, hazelnuts. I find that 70 is probably a good 70% cacao is probably a good number for me when it's mixed or cut with some berries or something else in there. I do sneak a 52% cacao morsel that I use with my macadamia nuts or any type of nuts that I'm snacking with. I just find that that's a good amount or a good percentage when I'm having chocolate, like with nuts or something along those lines. So this all brings me to this particular study, because personally I generally have chocolate every single day. If it's not a snack with the nuts, we have a wide variety of chocolate bars, usually whatever was on sale, and I'll just have a square or two. Sometimes when I get home, if dinner's not ready, I'll have a square just to tide me over. Maybe I'll have one a little bit after dinner as kind of a dessert. But generally, I have some degree of chocolate almost every single day. So this particular study looked at, it was a huge chunk of almost 14,000, so 13,626, and they found that only 11% of them had chocolate on a regular basis, which was just disappointingly small for me, but they found that those who were regular chocolate consumers had both a lower body composition based on BMI and a lower waist circumference. So this idea that chocolate is fattening and would lead to more health problems is just not true. Now, if you're having a candy bar every day with milk chocolate, which, by the way, one of the things I always talk about, like the heart study that where it drastically lowered second heart attacks, and this particular study, is that they don't differentiate between dark chocolate and milk chocolate. Milk chocolate I doubt that it has any health benefits whatsoever. So if we see health benefits in a study, the benefits of the dark chocolate are probably strong enough to outweigh the non-benefits or the harms of milk chocolate. So when studies look at the actual beneficial compounds, like the cacao, they are always overwhelmingly positive. And I think studies like this one that looked at people being not a whole lot, but a little bit leaner as a result of regular chocolate consumption, if we broke those out into people that have the crappy milk chocolate and the healthy dark chocolate, we'd probably see even better benefits. So make sure you get your dark chocolate on a daily basis. For me, if it's a bar, it's going to be mixed with something like berries. It's going to give a little bit of sweetener. If it's a snack at home, I usually do, or sorry, at the office, it's usually a mix of some type of nut like macadamia nuts and the 52% cacao that I get from, or morsels that I get from Costco, and a nice big huge bag. But um, the perfect combination for me, however, is a little bit of dark chocolate square and a little bit of real peanut butter uh, smushed on top. Personally, I think the combination of chocolate and peanut butter is one of the best ever on the compound. We have a tendency to dismiss and kick patients out of the office if they don't like dark chocolate and peanut butter. It's practically a screening question in our office, but just goes to show how important I think that combination is. So as always, I will post a link to this particular study in the comment section. Make sure you like this video, share it with somebody who you think needs the information, and subscribe to the channel.